Good morning. Welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on this 24th day of November 2025. In studio, I have Senator Richard Onyonka, the Senator of Kisii County. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Sami.
Where have you been?
I have been on sabbatical. I actually took a break because I felt I needed to kind of break away a bit.
Yes.
Rejuvenate, rethink, reevaluate.
Yeah.
Because in this game we play, if you play too many games, sometimes you get injured.
Oh, yeah? I've seen you've been very active on the political scene.
Yes.
How's the agenda going?
I have a presidential candidate who is the most improved student in class. Dr. Matiang'i is becoming more punchful in his statements. I think he's coming out with the narrative. He's not really a politician. Yeah. But right now, I like the products we are having. Yeah. Yes. And really, I think the united opposition, we are slowly also meshing and managing.
You know, you say that, and I remember you're a member of ODM party, and your party has also been at it, yeah?
ODM is an opposition party.
But it's not part of the united opposition.
Which has gone cohabiting with some husband. So they're having...
And they're fully married.
They are having a come-we-stay arrangement where dowry...
Yeah. Do you still maintain links with that party?
Yes, I do. I mean, we are really in a very interesting space. Yeah. For me, it's very interesting because of, one, separation of powers, because of the issues which are there. The opposition is meant to check government. Yeah. And yet, government is working with the opposition, of course. Okay. And depending on where you stand, there are people who feel that it's okay for the country to be stable. Okay. For an opposition to join government and even need be work with it. But then when you look at the functions of the legislature, then I'll find I'm actually jobless. Okay. Because as a member of the opposition, if my party is the one which is working with the government, you may criticize government and your party may feel you're not being a good boy or a good girl. So it's a very complex sort of scenario that I see, which is actually not unique, but it's playing out very differently.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Of course, very interesting developments that have happened over the last few weeks within the ODM party, but also this morning joining us is Senator Wilson Sossion. Good morning. Sorry, not Senator.
Mwalimu. Call me Mwalimu.
Wilson Sossion, Mwalimu. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Sam.
Yes, it's been a while as well.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a while.
Yeah. What has been going on?
Yeah, a lot has been going on in the country. Nothing is new to everyone. Yeah. And we've seen lots of activities within the country. And I dare say Kenya is a superpower democracy. Yeah, and you saw what happened in our neighborhood in Tanzania and the rest in terms of their democratic levels. And we appreciate that we are a superpower democracy. We are a free country where there's free speech and we do clean politics. And I think generally Kenya has extricated itself from ethnic-based politics and we are moving to issue-based politics. And the big conversation is the transformation of the country. That's a fact. And it's a big debate in the House. And the president has made a statement. You know, when you talk of Singapore, Malaysia, and the rest, those countries moved because there were vision carriers. The vision carriers were the presidents and the prime ministers. And when the president speaks very boldly about Kenya moving to the first world, people think it's a fairy tale. It's a reality. It's already moving. The strategic direction has already been set. To me, I admire that vision because I was in Malaysia in 2007 and I was able to experience the 9th Malaysian plan, the strategic plan of the various respective ministries. And it works, and it is possible. Kenya, with the brand of politics, the democracy and the level of accountability, can even do it earlier than 2055. If we buy that vision and we look at it as the bigger vision of the country, that even the leaders that will come hereafter will be able to continue the way Vision 2030 has been continued up to now.
Okay, all right. SG, former SG of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, and of course a member of the UDA party. Senator Veronica Maina, it's good to see you again. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me in the studio once again.
Great.
I was here last week.
Yes, yes.
So promised a panel.
Yes, we had a conversation here that would continue the conversation you started last week.
Yes.
So we'll do it with a different panel, as also we take note of the developments that were at the State of the Nation address. Joining us shortly is Senator of Makueni, Dan Manzo, who will also be helping us understand the conversation of what has been going on. Let's start by listening to what the President said at the State of the Nation address when he was speaking about what we must do to get to the first world level.
Still punches way below its true weight. This nation has the talent, the resources, and the spirit not just to improve, but to leap and to make the transition from a developing country to a developed one within our lifetime. That is why I speak today with full conviction that history has summoned this generation, our generation, at such a time as this, to a higher purpose. Some eras are shaped by events. Others are defined by the decisions a nation makes. And today, Kenya is called to make such a decision, to finish the journey our forebears began, and finally turn our long-held potential into lived reality.
Right, that was the President at the State of the Nation address on Thursday. Senator Dan Manzo, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. You know, just before we start, I last saw you in a rally with the President, and you looked very happy that the President was in your county, and you had made a bit of concessions. What was that about?
Well, you know, the President was touring the counties in the campaign.
Yeah.
So there are quite a number of the projects that are stalled, including the Bakadam, which he promised will be done, will be complete by April next year. But right now, really, there's no budget for it. In the process of borrowing, and it's not even come to Parliament for approval. You know, for every project you do in the country, there must be a budget approved by Parliament.
Yeah.
So there are quite a number of questions we are getting. And I wasn't very happy. I was only listening to the lies.
Okay.
Because
really?
the things he told me turned out to be true.
Okay.
Something added up here and there.
Okay.
I mean, is he now explaining himself for being there? Why can't he, in a very courteous way, accept the President is the President when he's touring his region, him as the senator of the people of Makueni?
Yeah.
It is his responsibility and his duty to be there, to even call the executive to account on the projects. But to say that I went to listen to lies, he discredits himself. I mean, how do you walk in if you know it's lies that you're being told? And you trail that tour in Ukambani. I don't think that's a fair statement. He could rectify that.
I followed up.
Sorry, Senator Manzo, we need to fix your microphone so that you can hear what you're saying. But I think we'll get back to that. Senator Onyonka, as you get to this conversation about where the country must go, I don't know, did you attend the State of the Nation address?
I actually was out of town, but I watched it live.
Yeah.
I watched it when the President...
So what do you make of that statement in general, before you get to the specifics, as that requirement that is constitutional?
You see, Sami, to be honest with you, what many of us wish for and hope for is not that we are going to look at whatever the President says and we disagree with him. What we hope for is that when he's coming to make presentations, or he's actually trying to tell us or suggest to us what he wants done and how he's going to do it, or how he's going to manage the business of state affairs and whatever, the general feeling that some of us have got is that the problems the country has are much more simplistic than the president is intending to imply. I'll give you an example. President, he said he's willing to borrow and spend another 4 trillion shillings. The truth is, what I wished had happened is that whatever the president is suggesting, we then see some tangible results and issues which make sense. I'll give you an example. I was pleasantly surprised and happy that the Cancer Center, for example, in Kisii, which was being done, is being built. To be honest with you, you have to be a madman to think that that project is not a good idea. Of course, it was started by Uhuru and the president is implementing it. But you see, in the process that is happening, then you realize that there are so many other things that are not moving. There are so many other things that are not operationalized. So where we are, people like me, we are saying, how I wish the president could just be implementing those things, which as we keep moving, you would see tangible results.
Yeah.
You have issues in our country about affordability. I think you understand right now that the issues of poverty, people are talking about capitation. People are talking about how SHA doesn't work. Others are saying it's working. Honestly, my feeling is that some of these things can be fixed. Like SHA. If the government, the current government really wanted SHA to work, it can work. Because many of us have looked at the model, and some people who, like me, who was never convinced that this model could work, are saying there's a likelihood it may. Then what do you find? People are being paid using SHA hundreds of millions of shillings, which is basically corruption. You see how much money we are losing as a country. How I wish the president on that day had singularly even spent half a page of his speech to tell Kenyans that we must begin to behave well, that we must begin to, this idea of public officers losing billions of shillings and nothing happens. So in my evaluation of what the president was saying, he means well, most probably. He intends to be as fastly developed as Singapore and Malaysia as he may wish. But for me, my observation is that if you look at the basics of the foundations being laid for him to achieve that, I don't see those basics. Okay. And one of our weakest link in him achieving this, Singapore did not grow because they had a lot of external investments being done in the country, or Yu Kuan Yew being praised and how he was a great man. No, Singapore and these other Asian countries developed because their leadership deliberately decided, we are going to work for a country that is going to change the livelihoods of our people. And the best thing we can do is first to stop the corruption. Okay. And I didn't see my head of state tackle that issue head on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an important point. And I'll get to you, Mheshimiwa Sosion and Senator Maina. But Senator Manzola, I understand that now we have your microphone. Okay, I think I want to give an opportunity for the right of reply, because Senator Maina was saying that for you to admit that you went to listen to the lies of the president, you are discrediting yourself.
No, I would say that Fake Dam project is a serious project. It's been running for some years. I expect it to be completed as quickly as possible. But for the president to say that by April next year, I've heard him say many times, it will be done. It will not be practical because, first of all, there's no budget. Secondly, they're in process of borrowing. Thirdly, you are not sure whether the bank you are borrowing from will approve the loan. And fourthly, Kenya was supposed to have spent its part of bargain, you know, in the international borrowing, which has never spent a coin up to now. And therefore, for the president to come and say by April next year, the dam will be complete, really will be a lie. And the water there is still, you know, not clean, the water from Nairobi. He started a project to clean the water, and as soon as he left, the people who are cleaning the rivers in Nairobi also left. And the water flowing there, I was telling him it is still dirty. And you see, when we make this dam, we want it to have clean water. We don't want it to be a pool of sewage. And therefore, these are the challenges we put to the
So when did you realize that? Or while you were listening to him, did you know that?
Well, you see what has been happening is that when he visits, then you need to challenge him. And then he needs to give you answers. Yeah. And I'm saying the answer he gave me, even he himself knows, is not practically correct. If you say April, you know, there's no need to...
That's what I'm asking. When did you realize that? Because I think I heard you saying that you've been assured, and therefore everything is fine, including the questions of affordable housing. You said it yourself.
Questions of affordable housing was a brief given, you know, at the site. And he said one house costs 4.5 million from the brief, 4.5 million shillings on ground. Remember, this is land belonging to the government. And for rento, to be able to buy while you rent, is 48,000 Kenyan shillings. And I was challenging him. That's sort of, for you to be able to pay a rent of 48,000 Kenyan shillings, you must be earning over 200,000. After you reduce the taxes, then if you are going to buy that house, then who is going to say that? So my challenge was, it's not affordable housing. It's not affordable in Makueni, and not many Kenyans could be able to afford a house. When you go to the market, he said for Mama Boga, that house is Kenya shillings 3,000. I think that's an open lie publicly. That one, you know, is not practical. The brief inside is different from the brief in public. And I think that's what we are calling our president to account. And we are challenging him to be truthful. We rather not promise, but just do it, other than make a promise, which is a lie. And you know it is. The house will never cost Kenya shilling 3,000 per month. It's really a big lie to the public.
Okay. Have you made peace with your attendance?
Well, you see, this is where I'm elected by people.
Yeah.
And it is very hard for me to ever face him, you know, one-on-one or, you know, macho kwa macho. Other than that, you know, there's no day I'm likely to meet him elsewhere. Yeah. I'm not going to visit the State House.
I'm asking that because some of your members really criticized you and your governor for taking part in that visit.
So that's what he's trying to now explain, to escape from, which is not fair.
It's a conscious
what a leader should do all the time, like when the president has a visit in your region, if you fail to attend that visit, you lose an opportunity for the president when he's addressing the real issues which are affecting the people within that region. And we do have a crisis here in Kenya, a crisis where leaders will want government to perform, the president to perform, and yet for them to participate and do the things that you help that presidency to perform, they want to withhold. So what they'll do, now he's eating from both sides of the tongue. He's speaking from both sides of the tongue. Because what he did the right thing to be there for that visit in Makueni, so that even the people in his county can see our leader is not removed from what is happening politically and in performance of what the government is supposed to do. But now he feels because he was criticized, he needs to explain himself that I went to listen, but what I was listening to is lies. Sam, let me ask you, today is November, isn't it? He's talking about a lie which he anticipates you happen. Let me tell you, even in our standing orders, we have a rule. You cannot anticipate debate. He's now anticipating that by April, that you turn into a lie. Why can't he wait for April to go back and say, now we are in April?
He has backed it with the lack of
budget. Even if he backs it some, you know it's not good enough. It's not good enough because he should have said the basis on which the president gave that promise on that day. Okay. What I'm saying is, for someone to anticipate that what you're saying today, you turn into a lie in 6 months. Really? That is driving propaganda. And maybe what we need to do is to ease off propaganda during the period when development is supposed to be happening and actually push for development to happen and wait for example, the timelines. We would respect his statement a lot if we were in April and the Wake Dam was not completed. If he comes around and says, look, the president and the government said this Wake Dam will be completed by April, we are in April, there is no good justification why it's not completed. At that point, then he could say, then this was a lie, if it is not completed. But to say it months in advance, I mean, it's becoming a lie in advance of the period.
So it's not yet a lie.
It's not yet a lie.
Okay,
you remember propaganda. He's trying to explain himself for participating in his duty the duty that he's supposed to perform within Makueni County as a senator. He's trying to explain, no, instead he should be teaching his people who are criticizing him, it is okay for a senator to pursue and see what the government is doing in their region.
By the way, Senator, who invited you to that meeting?
I invited myself. I was not invited, so I decided
and
to
I
go
congratulate him for that.
And I decided to go and face off the president on ground and challenge him. Like you see the issue of April, and I want the practicality.
Yeah.
You know, I know the borrowing procedure internationally. It must have an approval. And as soon as it is approved, when it comes to the House here, because it's not the budget, then there must be supplementary budget. By the time you mobilize again for a project which is told, get on ground, get to work, people of Makueni want water. We are waiting for that water. And I'm still challenging the president. You promised that it will be clean water. You are cleaning up Nairobi. Up to today, the water in Nairobi is still dirty. Why has it taken years now to clean it up?
All right. SG, you wanted to say something about that? Or we
yes,
transition?
You know, we can transition, but allow me to be a lawyer of Dan Manso. You know, he's my lawyer in other quarters. And I think when it comes to leadership, you must stand true to the calling of leadership. And I congratulate Honorable Manso for attending the president's visit to Makueni. And I saw the president invited him. And Honorable Manso spoke very boldly and clearly.
The president invited him to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the president who invited Senator Manso to speak, as is custom. And the president said during his inauguration, I'll work with all the leaders in the country, all of them elected. That includes Honorable Manso. And therefore, the president invited him to address the people of Makueni. And when Honorable Manso spoke, because I was very keen, he talked about Twake Dam and many other issues. And he said, yes, I came, Mr. President, and I'm happy you've outlined how it is going to be implemented. That's public accounting, public responsibility, and he should offer no apology to anybody whatsoever. And it doesn't look like, it doesn't have to look like he's intimidated for attending the president's visit. To me, I would congratulate him. You did what was right. And don't try and dilute the good thing that you did. It is what everyone else should do. Any time in this country when a president is elected and he visits everywhere in the country for development purposes and for engaging the people, anybody elected should attend. And actually, that is the philosophy of Vision 2030, the political pillar, that our politics should be issue-based. And therefore, the president's visit to Ukambani for 3 elaborate days, one for each county, and he was dealing specifically with the issues that are contained in his manifesto, the charter signed in every county, and outlining the development agenda for each of the counties to the people, and eventually having the leaders meeting was a good thing. We cannot leap the country to the first world if you don't develop every part of the region. And that was a good mission, and I think Senator Manso did a good thing, and he'll go into history as having welcomed the president and outlined the agenda of the people of Makueni. So he did his job well.
Yes, Senator.
His only problem is to come and say he went to listen to the lies.
To retract the good thing that so don't dilute with the...
Let me hear from Senator Nyonka.
I'm just sitting here and listening to my colleagues on the left drooling with happiness, believing that they have cornered Manso for having attended the function. And that Manso looks like he's trying to retract or backtrack. The truth is, the politics that we have in our country is perceptional. And that is not the way it should be. The truth is, once you've gotten into this thing called democracy, and where the winners will always have their way and the losers have their say, we should actually be in that box where, as elected leaders, should be very easy and comfortable visiting each other. Because this is something, if you come to the Senate, when I'm with Senator Veronica Maina and my brother Manso, you wouldn't even know that we don't belong to the same parties. You wouldn't even see that there is any animosity. The only thing you may hear is a comment. For example, if it's a headline news which is controversial on one side, we will joke about it. And yet, in reality, in Kenya, sometimes we play this politics as if it's a life and death thing. that we hate each other. I mean, I've been with my SG here, Sosion, in ODM. I've been with him before he became a teacher. Before he became an MP. I mean, we've fought the same wars at some point, and then we have crossed over and gone to the other side, and we have disagreed.
Yeah.
And my point is, we can actually disagree amicably.
Exactly.
We can actually intellectualize and discuss the challenges the country faces fairly and reasonably, without the insult which is now part and parcel of our politics. Without bitterness, without and the softening of the mind in understanding that the reality is, at some point, look at the political class today. 90% of the people in government, those who are outside government but in the opposition, some in government, have all worked together. They have either insulted each other from one side to the other. The other day I was telling somebody, I haven't seen a man who has been so insulted by Kenyans in terms of his political engagement, and yet he has carried so much weight, like Kalonzo Musyoka, that he has actually been a running mate to Raila. All right, which means he had something substantive that was making him becoming a running mate. Remember, he has been President Kibaki's vice president without a single incident, without a negative image, without any insulting of the president who was on power.
Right.
And you could see the stability in that kind of government. So, to me, we who are in political space must begin to understand that we must accommodate each other, even sometimes uncomfortably.
All right.
Because we have a government and we are in the opposition. Maazo's job is to literally tell the government what is wrong and what he thinks can be fixed without demeaning the message, without bringing out the perception that is anti-government, that he went there. And this is, in fact, for us, what has been very difficult to manage. How do what he's handling is, for example, what if President Ruto is coming to Kisii to visit, and the truth is he's handling a national government project, my voters may not want me to go there. So we struggle with this aspect. Do I go because I'm a nationalist and I think the presidency holds the country together, or do I not go because my voters are so angry with this government that if I stay away, I continue with them believing and them knowing that I'm actually doing my oversight, which is...
And do they attend themselves?
Some of them do.
They do.
Yeah, some of them do.
Actually, they do.
Okay, you know, it's funny.
So that is something we are always struggling with.
It's interesting because I think Senator Manzo claimed at one of the stations that some of those people attending the meeting in Makueni were not from Makueni.
Not transport.
From where?
From Tharaka.
What do you mean?
Yes.
How?
Sorry, I think from Tharaka, all the way from Tharaka to Makueni.
And even to Kitui and to Machakos.
Why Tharaka, not in the other place?
Because, you know, we are neighbors and our language is almost the same.
You see,
even in Kitui, in trucks.
Okay, no, it's okay, Senator Vaina. I think of all of us who are here, it's only Senator Manzo who was there. So.
Okay. But there's nothing.
I'm sure he never did the poll.
We take a short break. When we come back, we now dive into the 5 trillion ambitions. There are projects to do all 2,500 kilometers of road. There are plans to build 50 mega dams. Should I call them plans or intentions? I think intentions is the right word. We'll talk about that after the break. Stay tuned.